Hey everybody, it's your unemployed superhero here. Today's episode is entitled America, We Need to Talk. I got some complaints and some grievances I'd like to air today. Stuff I've seen over the last, weekend. Thought I'd talk about it today. Before we get going though, I did want to mention that tomorrow, my sister is going to have an operation. If I haven't mentioned it before, she has a growth on the interior lining of her stomach. It's called a GIST or GIST. Look it up if you're curious. Basically, the lining of her stomach cells. It's not cancerous, right? But it's not. It's a bad surgery. It's a rough surgery, but luckily it's not malignant cancer. So, in honor of my sister, I need you to put the hand up. Put the hand up. Put it up here. Positive mental energy. Put the hand up. Hey, Ted, you in the back. I see you, Ted. Put down that box of corn flakes. Put them down. Get up here. Put your hand in there. I see you, Ted. Don't make it. I see all. I can see everything. Like Nick over there. Yeah, Nick, I see you. By the way, that hot pink sports bra does not go with those burgundy panties. Just so you know. You're welcome, Nick. Let's start the show. Positive mental energy. Cue the intro.
Live from Casa de Clark in beautiful Independence, Iowa, it's Unemployed with your host, Matt Clark. Promotional consideration paid for by Tesla, makers of the Model 3 electric motor vehicle. When you want to see your lithium-ion batteries explode but can't find a Samsung Galaxy, Tesla. Here's your host, a man who can't even spell the word. Now think of a large word here and put it in. It's been a long week. Matt Clark.
Say hi. Greetings, Internet, YouTube, children of all ages, men and women at sea. It is I, your unemployed superhero, Matthew Clark, coming to you live from Casa de Clark, here in beautiful, sunny Independence, Iowa, America's fame in the name, JP100D over the shoulder. Greetings. It is 21st of February, God help me. A couple of weeks away from 6 months unemployed. We'll talk more about that as we get to it. Today's episode of the Unemployed program, I am entitling America, We Need to Talk. I've been scouring the internet, going over the news the last few days, and some things have come to my attention that I'd like to talk about today. That call them complaints and grievances, shall we? I think we should. Here we go. Number one. I've been watching all over the internet, the YouTubes, the videos, the websites, and we got people comparing good old President Trump to Adolf Hitler. Donald Trump is not Adolf Hitler, okay? He's not, okay? Donald Trump is an egomaniacal jackass with not a single brain cell, I think, that actually functions. Adolf Hitler was a psychotic, murdering fuck. Big difference, fundamentally maybe not, but in actions, big difference, okay? Donald Trump has said some of the stupidest shit and done some of the stupidest things a president can do. Adolf Hitler, on the other hand, well, he killed too many Jews, really. I think it's a question of gluttony, really. I think he went a little overboard. He went a little crazy. The first 500,000, 600,000, maybe we could have forgave him, really. But that next, $1.5 million, 2 million, a little overboard, really. Adolf Hitler, Trump may get there one day. That's a big number to hit for, though. I mean, to nearly wipe out an entire race. I mean, that's impressive. We almost did it back in the day with the Indians, but really, you weren't as systematic. Different time back then, really, So I give Adolf Hitler, props for organization and that can-do spirit. But, too many Jews. Too many. Just too many, really. But then again, can you really blame Adolf? Because what's that old saying? First 500, 600,000 Jews, shame on you. The next 1.5 million, 2 million, shame on me. Something like that. Apparently John McCain is stepping up his criticism of Donald Trump and the Trump presidency, especially after, the latest comments made by the president about the press. Hey, John, I know you're like 150 years old, but if you think back about 10 years ago, give or take, 9 years ago, you ran a campaign with Sarah fucking Palin. All right, Sarah Palin. You have no room to talk at all. You fucking sellout. I'm not saying anything about your military history. I'm not questioning whether or not you're a war hero. I'm not questioning your service to our country. Thank you very much. But someone who ran a campaign with Sarah Palin, I say the pot's calling the kettle black. Even though you live in Arizona and you're probably racist. Think about it. He's like 170 years old. Think about your grandfather and how racist he was. John McCain. Speaking of racist, Republican Senator Tim Scott is in the news. Apparently, he's getting a lot of kickback from his support of Jeff Sessions for the Trump cabinet. You remember Jeff Sessions, that racist fuck who wanted to keep black people from voting in the South? Remember him, Jeff Sessions? You may be asking yourself, well, why is Tim Scott getting such nasty pushback about the whole thing? Tim Scott's a Republican from South Carolina, and he's black. Yeah, don't adjust your TV, you heard me right. A Republican senator from the South who's black. I think the first Republican senator from the South since the Reconstruction. That's that part of history where we were supposed to, do stuff for the black people and we didn't. Tim Scott, buddy, I know you're not watching this. You never will watch this, more than likely. But I'm going to give you some cosmic advice anyway. Hopefully it'll go through the atmosphere and into your stupid fucking head. People are calling you an Uncle Tom and a sellout because you are. Jeff Sessions is a piece of shit. Alright? You can be conservative. I got no problem with people being conservative. If you believe in Jesus, you believe in the big man upstairs, you can believe in low taxes, all that wonderful stuff. But when it comes down to sacrificing your personal beliefs to keep a party happy, to keep yourself in a job, that makes you a scumbag. ta-da, you're on the parade now. And yes, you're a sellout. You are an Uncle Tom. A black man voting for Jeff Sessions to go into the... I don't know. I'm not sure what this world has come to. I guess we should be happy there's a black man in the Senate at all, I guess. I just... black Republican. I think I've seen it all. The UN has released some information. Roughly 4.9 million people in the southern Sudan are in the middle of a famine of epic proportions. In other news, between 2 to 3 million Americans neither care nor know where the Sudan actually is. Donald Trump made a speech today, the 21st of February, denouncing the anti-Semitist remarks. In fact, he said, "We have to fight bigotry, intolerance, and hatred in all of its very ugly forms. In a matter of sense, we must grab it by the pussy." Get it? Because he did a pussy grab. Intolerance. Ivanka Trump, his daughter, said, "America is a nation built on the principle of religious tolerance. You must protect our houses of worship and religious centers." Oh gee, now we're getting moral lessons from a cunt who can't get her shit sold at a Dillard's. Thank you, Ivanka. And finally, on today's video, I'd like to talk about a bigger issue. I don't like talking about the president, the presidency, or politics. I'm not a political person, believe it or not. But for some reason, well, not for some reason, for obvious reasons, wow, this presidency has just been all over it dominates everything. I mean, you can't turn on the television without hearing something that just makes you, throw up a little bit in your mouth. It makes you shake your head and go, my God, what the hell is happening out there? And it concerns me slightly because I know that, the reason all this is going on right now is, it's like David Copperfield, okay? This is the magician showing you his hot assistant over here. Pussy grab, hot assistant over here. Meanwhile, the trick's happening over here. It's misdirection. Penn and Teller at its best. It's all sleight of hand misdirection. They flood the media with just complete insanity. And then, while you're not watching, destroy the country on the other side. Of all the crazy shit that's happened over the last couple of weeks, last month, what people haven't talked about is the regulations that the Republicans have repealed. Net neutrality is going to die here pretty soon, which means your internet's going to go to shit. EPA regulations don't exist anymore. Got to get them coal miners back to work. So let's go ahead and poison the water and kill off a bunch of people. Which, by the way, I don't have a problem with. Who's it going to poison? The coal miners. There's no coal mining happening in Iowa. But it's kind of sad just to watch scumbags win again. The Republicans are just salivating. People keep waiting for this, Republican conscience to come to the forefront and stand up to this guy. And I'm telling you now, it's the best you're going to get at the moment is John McCain. That's as good as the Republicans are going to go. Because they're using this. They're using this whole thing as an opportunity to get their real agenda across while everybody's paying attention to the monkey dancing to the organ grinder. I do think Trump's in league with the Russians. I think there's money going to be exchanged between those two parties. Nobody can prove it. They're not stupid. They're not going to do anything you can really prove. The closest you're going to get is Flynn, and he's not going to get prosecuted by anybody, because if he did get prosecuted, the tough questions could be asked, which aren't going to be asked of a Republican president. Not while the going's good, anyway. The saddest part about all this is listening to people talk on the news and entertainment, because people don't recognize the divide in the country. First of all, you don't live in a democracy. If you're an American watching this video, wherever you are, you don't live in a democracy. You don't. All right? A democracy means your vote is one of many, and majority rules. That's not how America works. All right? We're a representative republic. That's what America is. You vote people into office, and they represent you. All right? It's not majority rule. If majority ruled, Trump wouldn't be president right now. It doesn't. Part of that checks and balances thing. The forefathers, when they wrote the Constitution, didn't want one major population body of America making all the decisions. If you look at the map, maybe if I can find one, I'll bring it up. If you look at the map of the United States that Trump won, you'll see Trump, for the most part, got the South and the center of the country, and Hillary won the coasts, which is normally how the map kind of looks for a presidency normally. And that's the way that the Founding Fathers wanted it. They wanted the center of the country, which doesn't have a lot of population. I live in Iowa, all right? We're not a very big state. We're not a very big populous state, okay? But they wanted Iowa's voice to be just as important as New York's voice. That's why there's 2 senators for every state. It's equal, okay? And what's happening, but people don't realize this, I think, who live in the entertainment areas, the media areas, the news areas, is that the center of this country and the South, the majority of it anyway, are not very well educated. They don't read a lot. Some don't even really watch TV all that much. They got their own problems. They work. Some work very hard. Some don't, but some do work very hard. They have children. They have lots of bills. They only really care about an arc around their body of about 50 to 100 feet. If it happens outside of 100 feet of where they're sitting, chances are they don't really care about it. That's just the truth. When you have a job and you're trying to raise children, and this just isn't the Midwest, this is all over the country, it's hard to focus on issues outside of your bubble. I mean, you've got responsibility. And living in America these days, I'm not sure about other countries. I don't live, obviously, outside of the Midwest. But living in America, even in the Midwest, is a complicated business. You got to worry about your identity being stolen. You got to worry about loans. You got to worry about credit cards. Life in America these days is quite complicated. Retirement alone is a complicated idea. Thinking 30 to 40 years into your future when you're in your 20s is a complicated thing, especially if you have children. So a lot of this stuff gets ignored. And I'm seeing a divide. I see people ridiculing choices. The people who voted for Trump for a reason. And people talking about how stupid Trump is, how dumb it is that he's president, how horrible it is he's president, just feeds a fight. Okay? I know in the Midwest people are very stubborn. Okay? When they make a decision and somebody questions that decision, you're looking for a fight. So when you start ridiculing Trump and ridiculing people's choices, they turn you off. And they want to fight. Whether they're right or wrong, they don't care anymore. They just want to fight. And I see that happening in media. Not that I'm defending Trump. I'm not. Trump's a dick piece of shit. But this is a question for America. A big divide. All right? You've got people, mostly educated, that are railing against Trump, calling Trump all kinds of names, making fun of him on television. And you've got people who voted for him, who think that he's doing something. That's the big thing. Most people don't think that people in politics actually do anything. And to see Trump signing pieces of paper, talking about things, at least it looks like he's doing something. So the tenor of the conversation, I think, has to keep making fun of Trump, by the way. I enjoy that. But if you really want to reach these people, you can't do it by calling everybody idiots. That's not going to work. Because all you're going to do is feed a fight, which we shouldn't fight. You know? This is kind of like, you know, mom and dad want to go to dinner, and the kids are fighting over pizza or sandwiches. Okay? And whether they really want pizza, it's not the point. The point is you don't want pizza. So they're going to fight you over it. And we need to figure out a way of stopping that fight. I guess what I'm trying to say is we need to have pizza and hamburgers at the same time. I'm getting hungry. Really. Pizza sounds good. Anyway. Point is, we're all one country, whether you like the president or not. And instead of, you know, insulting one another and fighting one another, let's try and solve a few problems. There's a novel idea. Now, before I come close to making a moral stand or anything, or intellectual argument, I'm going to drop out of this thing now and leave you to your day. I apologize for the lack of dick jokes in this video. I am personally ashamed. I did get some pussy grabbing jokes in, though. Remember pussy grabbing? So I feel good about that. Other than that, though, yeah, kind of devoid of. I'll work harder, America. I'll try better. And I will talk to you soon. You stay good. Stay good to your mother. Stay sexy, San Diego. And for God's sakes, don't drink downstream from the herd. This is your unemployed superhero. Signing off.